Hey everyone, this is Erica Sabo. Welcome to another episode of MindBit. Hey everyone, so you're probably wondering, what is all of this over here? What's going on? What is all that? That's my wall. That's my wall. I wanted to change things up a bit. I got a little bit tired of that wall over there. It looked kind of messy. It's like the messy work area, retro video game area that me and my boyfriend share. And it's nice and all, but I needed a change of pace. So that's what we're doing here. I hope you enjoy. So today I wanted to talk to you about none other than E3. E3 is big this year. Lots of console releases. It's just an awesome year for video games and video game consoles. I have been following E3. I've been following E3 avidly for the past few years now, and I was avidly following yesterday's conferences, which were amazing. And I'm just going to be following these next few days and see what's up. I've been doing a lot of live tweeting, I've been doing a lot of blogging too, and I thought, you know what, why not do a video, right? So today I'm going to give you a bit of my impressions on this year's conferences, or at least a few of the conferences, what they mean to me, and what stood out, what didn't, what went on. So let's start with Microsoft's conference. Microsoft's been having some problems. Definitely had a lot of controversial issues with the Xbox One, primarily in terms of the 24-hour online check-in, and you can't play even offline games if you don't do an update, which is kind of crazy. And then the fact that they're not supporting used games. That's a big problem, and that's something that they addressed kind of just wham, there it is, you guys have to deal with it now. I love Microsoft, I really do, but I don't really appreciate the way that they're expecting their consumers to be like, okay, sure, we can do this. You know, like, I would like a little bit more reasoning behind this. Obviously, GameStop, EB Games is involved in this. They are a monopoly anyways. They are taking away money from a lot of developers, publishers. But at the same time, I'm sure that there are probably other ways that they could have done that. Now, even though this news was released, I was hoping maybe the conference would cover more of it. Instead, this conference covered more of the software, more of the games than it did anything else. And that's great and all, but I kind of want to know what's going on, you know? I think that what I'm most interested in from Xbox One has to be Killer Instinct. I'll be honest, which is kind of sad because it's a remake of the original retro title, and a lot of people seem to be more excited about that than they are any of the newer games. The newer titles are just really predictable. They're games that cater to, you know, this just a particular scope of gamers, and it didn't really offer any variety outside of that. There are a bunch of shooters. You got your shooters, and I love my shooters, third person, first person. They're really fun. It depends on the game, obviously. But I just, I don't know. I'm not that intrigued. I was a bit unimpressed with the Xbox One's lineup. Maybe because more so of the presentation than anything else. I am actually really interested in Titanfall. I'm really interested in the game because I really want to do mech combat. I really like mech combat a lot, so I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. Now, of course, there's Halo. I'm not so interested in Halo. Not anymore at this point. I used to have a lot of fun playing with my friends and my boyfriend, who used to be a huge fan. But ever since 343 took over, there was something in the combat that definitely changed, and it kind of deterred him from playing, and it kind of deterred me because it feels very different. Right now, I'd rather play something like Battlefield, where it's more of a cooperative, strategic gameplay. I definitely am not really much of a Call of Duty fan, so that's kind of not interested. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's a lot more about Titanfall, Killer Instinct. I'm actually kind of interested in the new Witcher game. I've never played any of the games in the series. maybe I'll try it out, who knows. But like I said before, I feel like Microsoft really tried to cater more to a particular scope of gamer. It didn't cater to a variety. There's so many different kinds of gamers out there, and I feel like a lot of the genres that were being covered were not catered to everybody. It wasn't very consumer friendly, unfortunately. I didn't find it that interesting, unfortunately. Sorry. Now, in terms of Sony's conference, I was a little bit surprised. I was surprised by how happy I was and how impressed I was with that presentation. That was actually very different in comparison to Microsoft's. They covered a variety of games, much more consumer friendly, games oriented towards kids, towards adults, and anyone in between. There were a lot of JRPGs too. I gotta mention that because I am a JRPG fan. I was actually really excited to hear about Kingdom Hearts 3. Been waiting for that game for a long time. We all have. I feel like there's been a lot of like spin-offs and that's it. So it's really nice to hear something new. In terms of Final Fantasy, it was actually really refreshing to hear that Final Fantasy 15 is finally coming out. Final Fantasy Versus 13 has changed to 15. You know, I'm not as big of a Final Fantasy fan as I used to be. I used to play these games avidly. Hundreds and hundreds of hours were put into them. And the new ones don't really feel like those games anymore. This is, it's a little bit of a shock to the system. I know a lot of people who are a bit jaded about Square Enix because of this. Can't really blame them, because I kind of feel the same way too. But that doesn't keep me from, you know, not being excited about this release, right? So not only was Sony's conference very consumer friendly, but they were also covering a lot of the indie game market as well, which I think is so humbling. I find that to be such a big compliment, especially in terms of a company like Sony, a company with that much caliber, that much power. The fact that they want to invest their time into these indie games, Supergiant Games, Transistor looks great, Don't Starve by Clay Games, you know, all of these games, man, the new Oddworld, holy cow, memories, I swear, memories, right? And I really like how they're investing their time in these indie games. So there's, you know, the consumer-friendly side, but then there's a side where they're just really trying to help the little guys here too. They're really trying to help support that, and I really appreciate that a lot. So on top of that, on top of like the various games that are coming out, on top of, you know, just all the indie games included, PlayStation Plus actually looks really great, and it's going to be covering PS4, PS3, and Vita. Speaking of Vita, there's going to be a lot of games for that as well. I'm glad more attention is being put in that. I feel like not a lot of attention was being put on the Vita. I felt like it was being put on the back burner, which was really depressing. But I'm glad that they're finally like starting to focus more on it, and I hope that continues. I really, really want to hope that it will. But aside from that, I mean, PlayStation Plus just looks great. Of course, if you want to play multiplayer, seems like you're going to need a PlayStation Plus account, but there are a lot of perks to having PlayStation Plus. You get free games, you get early invites to betas. There's just a lot of exclusive content that you get out of it, and I find that it's very much worth the money. Now, on top of that, Sony also made it clear that they are going to be supporting used games and that they're not going to be doing any online check-ins. So you can still keep playing your offline games offline. You don't have to worry about, let's say you were having a Wi-Fi problem. Like this actually happened to me yesterday when I was trying to live tweet. My internet went down. And I was like, oh my god, this is like a nightmare. And I was thinking, if I was playing a video game, I would be screwed. Overall, I was just much more impressed with the presence that Sony had during their conference. It really pleased me. I think the only thing that really disappointed me about the conference had to do with the fact that The Last Guardian, Team Ico's newest game, whenever it comes out, wasn't announced. Now, we've been waiting for a very, very long time for this game, and Team Ico has been having a lot of problems if you've been following the news with them, but I'm really hopeful that the game is going to be coming out. I really hope it does because it looks amazing. Really, that's my only worry at this point. Aside from that, I was pleasantly surprised. So in terms of Nintendo's Nintendo Direct event, they didn't hold a press conference this year. They made it clear. They've been doing a lot of Nintendo Directs though, and that's really keeping us updated well. I really like the work they've been doing with that. I like this pursuit, and I really like Nintendo a lot. The only problem with Nintendo is that there is literally no change going on. It's the same sort of things. It's the same sort of IPs. There might be new things here and there, but nothing really groundbreaking. Of course, if you're nostalgic, you're gonna be happy regardless. You know, the fact that we were able to hear about Super Smash Brothers, both for the 3DS and the Wii U, was quite exciting. Of course, a new Mario Kart, you know, you'd have to be pretty crazy to not be excited about that. And then I actually really like the Wind Waker HD remake that's going on. I'm actually pretty happy and pretty excited for the other new Legend of Zelda game that's coming out. I believe it's a remake or something close to Link to the Past, which is very cool. I'm very excited to see more of that. The one game that I am most excited for, though by far, was Monolith's Xeno game. We don't know what Xeno. I want to keep thinking it's Xenogears, because that red X, if you're familiar with that red X in the logo, that's totally straight from Xenogears. Let's see if I can find it. This right here is the X. It looks a lot like it. I'm sure it's going to be more of a new Xenoblade game than anything else. Xenoblade Chronicles was actually a really good game on the Wii. I was definitely really impressed with it. But, you know, my inner fangirl is just like, oh my god, please, please let it be a new Xenogears. You know, and we don't know, but I just want to be in a mech, that's all. So aside from that, Nintendo didn't really offer anything groundbreaking, nothing awe-inspiring. It offered us a lot of what we already know, and they tend to do that a lot. They work with what they've got, and they've got some really amazing stuff. Oh, Donkey Kong. I'm actually really excited for the new Donkey Kong too, but once again, is that really new? Not necessarily. I can see why some people might be really upset with Nintendo because of this, but they've been doing this for years. Years and years and years. If people are gonna get surprised about it, I don't really know what you're expecting, and I think it's gonna continue like this, but you can't deny the fact that there are a lot of amazing games that are coming out on Nintendo's 3DS and on the Wii U. Of course, the 3DS is definitely towering over the Wii U at this point. It's one of the best handhelds I've ever owned. To be honest. I am so impressed with this handheld. I'm just looking forward to seeing more, taking it all with a grain of salt, and enjoying my time. Now, in terms of Ubisoft's conference, which I was actually pretty impressed by, because I do really like Watch Dogs, and I'm really excited to learn more about it. I'm actually trying to wean myself off of getting more information about it. I've seen a lot of gameplay videos for it, gameplay trailers, but I kind of like the fact that I don't really know what's going on. I like how they're doing these gameplay trailers, because there have been a lot of gameplay trailers. I like this sort of cyberpunk future. I could see the game being a big commitment. I could see Watch Dogs definitely being a very slow-paced game. With Watch Dogs, you could either be going straight through the campaign and not exploring, or you could go all over. It is a sandbox game after all. Now, because of that, I think it might deter some people because of its pace, but at the same time, it seems like a really inspiring game that we should definitely be keeping our eyes on. Another game that I'm actually really looking forward to is The Division. I was so impressed by the multiplayer in that game. Now, I will admit that in the combat, my boyfriend noticed this, there was tracking going on when you were shooting at the enemy. It just was too seamless, which is kind of a shame. It'd be nice if you could do it manually. But at the same time, that's not really what they're going for. Like, this was obviously supposed to be some sort of like post-apocalyptic RPG, action RPG at that. And it looked great. It looked like a great way to play with your friends. And it's something I'm honestly really looking forward to. Now, the one thing that I was a bit disappointed about was that there was no mention of Beyond Good and Evil 2. I know a lot of us have been waiting patiently for this game, and on Twitter there was definitely a lot of anticipation. On Ubisoft's Facebook page, they did make a reference to Paige from Beyond Good and Evil, and it made us, I think it made us all think, oh, it's going to be featured, you know, it's trying to tease that it's going to be at the conference, and the fact that the game wasn't at the conference just felt maybe a little bit cruel. Or maybe it was supposed to be more of a, like, don't worry, it's still in the works type of thing. I would have liked to see a new trailer though, at the least. But aside from that, I was actually really pleased with Ubisoft's performance on Ubisoft's conference. I'm definitely interested in seeing a lot more of these games. I'm really interested in learning more about Watch Dogs, about The Division, and hopefully seeing Beyond Good and Evil. Who knows, right? Now, when it comes to EA's conference, I feel kind of bad, because the only thing I actually remember seeing was Mirror's Edge 2. I'm sorry to all the other games, but I was super stoked. I was actually, like, I was half expecting it. I was like, you know what, maybe they will, but I always wish that they will, and then they don't. It's been a very off and on battle for Mirror's Edge, and it's just, I don't know, it hasn't been their main scope. You know, it hasn't been the top priority for EA, for DICE at this time. There's Battlefield, and EA has like plenty of other things to worry about right now. There was something about Mirror's Edge. I love the concept of this game. I like the parkour element to it. I like the minimalist design. It was maybe a bit linear, however, the way you played was so different than any other game I'd played before that I really enjoyed a lot, and I've been rooting for this game for a long time. So when this happened, I think I just kind of forgot about everything else, and I kind of lost track of everything else. So I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry if anyone's like, oh my god, why is she not mentioning this game? Right? But I am mentioning Mirror's Edge, and I know a lot of people are very excited for this. Of course, we don't really know what's going on with it. It's basically like, look, we're working on it. We don't know when it's going to come out though, but we're working on it. That's fine. That is totally cool. You take your time and you do a good job of it. I'm going to keep listening to Still Alive. I'm going to listen to all those remixes, and it's going to be awesome. So all in all, I was pretty pleased. I was pretty pleased with this year's E3, at least for the conferences. I don't know what else is going to happen. It's still very early on. But in terms of conferences, I'm pretty pleased. I am pleased with the way things are going. Xbox, maybe not so much, but you know what? Whatever, you know, whatever. Maybe it's gonna be good. We still have so much time before these consoles come out that I can be patient. I can wait. I can wait to hear more about them. Right now, I'm definitely looking more into the PS4. I'm definitely looking into pre-ordering mine soon, because I know that they are gonna have limited supplies of these, especially during launch. I really need something like this in my life though. I need a very game-centric console, and PS4 does offer that. And not only that, but PS4 is going to have really awesome game called Destiny that I forgot to mention because I was so excited about all these other games. Yeah, we got to see the world gameplay premiere of Destiny, and that looked amazing. So I can't wait to play. I can't wait to play with all of you either. I can't even talk, really. So, you know, I don't want to go off tangent too much. I could be talking about a whole bunch of other stuff though too. Yeah, overall I'm pretty pleased. I'm actually really curious to know what your thoughts are on the conference so far. What are you leaning towards? Are you leaning towards the Xbox One or the PS4? Or are you more of a PC person? Please tell me. I really want to know. I really want to know what games stuck out for you in what conference, what upset you, what made you happy, and what you're looking forward to in the future. So with that, I hope all of you have an amazing day, and please tune in again soon for another video. Okay, take care guys.